So in this system, we're using this calendar and this time and these years based off of this system, and the calendar that we're using. What year do you think we're really going to be cranking up and really going to be doing crazy shit and scaring people? Do you think 2024, 2025, or do you think it's going to be like starting this summer? Because I just feel like this summer a lot of stuff's going to go down. I don't know, man. What's your opinion?
Hey, that's a good thought right there. That's a perfect video topic that can like have a whole bunch of soul beings share their thoughts on when everything's just gonna crank off. For me personally, I think everything's gonna crank off during this summer and like ongoing. Like anything from here on out, start in May all the way up to June 2023. And then you're going into next year and the 10 years after in this timeline and the alternate timeline versions of ourselves. A lot of things is just gonna crank off, like with a lot of soul beings just having like insane fan manga, fan anime superpowers and all that stuff. We transforming. We get to learn about other humanoid extraterrestrial species. And like to your question, man, like bro, yep, I got YouTube. I shared a few YouTube links in the chat already. Like you could just scroll up and go see. Yeah, because I had YouTube since like 2020. And I made sure I made a whole bunch of backup YouTubes and everything for different topics and all that stuff too. So I got that on lock and everything. But man, oh man, bro, that's a good topic right there. Like when things are gonna crank up for a lot of soul beings to just like show their humanoid extraterrestrial powers, because a lot of animals are already doing this already. But when we look at animals, they gonna start connecting with their anthropomorphic counterparts and show their abilities too, just like a lot of these humanoid extraterrestrials. I know things are going to crank up this summer in 2023, along with the alternate timeline versions of ourselves on some future trunks type deal. Whereas like bro, like me, I found out my humanoid extraterrestrial race is known as the Izodians of Angel Number Universe 21. When I found out my extraterrestrial species, everything started to make more sense to me on my power, how I can evolve my powers and all this stuff, man. Just the same thing when Goku found out he was a Saiyan. He started being his true roots and he got more powerful when he found out what his real identity was. You feel me? So like this shit gonna be lit right here.
It's an exciting time to be alive. That last one was a fucking brain fart. It's an exciting time to be alive. I'm just glad to find conscious people like you. I'm glad you reached out, man. Like it's hard to find people like this in person. So I want to ask you, do you have people in your life or people around you in person that you could talk to about this, or do you feel like you're on this journey alone? This is strictly in person, no internet connections.
Yep, like Jewels Ultra, Jewels of Universe 21, and Cold Shield 21 Music World. Those are my YouTube channels. As far as the Jewels of Universe 21 channel, yeah, I've been through a lot of journeys, like sharing my thoughts on different things when it comes to pertaining to like men and women connections, to talking about celestial extraterrestrial species, how we can actually take down these so-called energy vampire demon aliens that's running the matrix in this multiverse. I talked about so many things on that channel. Like I talk about things that happen on Earth, things that happen outside of Earth. So it's like, man, like it's a whole lot of things that a lot of soul beings can get to, because I see my social media accounts as like a library. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear you, man. So all we can do is just keep doing our job one day at a time, or waking one person up at a time, or planting one seed at a time. I would love for it to be millions and hundreds of thousands, but obviously this system doesn't allow that for us. And if you do, it's going to be like one out of very minority of people in our lane can get big followings. And then once a lot of them do get big followings, they start just chasing money and shit. So
I'm glad you asked me that question right there. Like, do I have individuals that I could see in person in my location that I could talk about celestial things? And no, I cannot. Being in USA, being in the southern states, I really can't do that. A lot of people not really spiritually awake out there. But I'll tell you this, if I was out in the states, in those melanated countries like Sierra Leone, Senegal, Nigeria, Jamaica, Trinidad, being in the states of those countries, then I probably very well will come across more celestial beings like myself, because there's a whole lot of diversity in those melanated countries, based on what we have seen, through the social media, you know. Yeah, like, because I had this thought about, like, people that sold out. Man, bro, that stuff would be funny when I see so many people with, like, a whole bunch of followers, but they follow way less people on social media. And it's just like, man, yeah, they must have really, really, like, start to chase money, chase fame and all that. And I know for a fact, I already know the whole thing about, like, a lot of men and women that are, like, social media famous is because, like, they did come from Freemason families and all that. I already know the whole deal about that stuff. I will say this, like, the only way it's possible to even get big is probably, like, you having a martial arts social media platform and you got big off of that, or you just, like, doing video games. Cause then it'll be hard to tell for those kind of people if they sold out. Because, like, bro, like, like, when I see a lot of these fitness and yoga gurus on social media, man, I be laughing my ass off, man. I'll be like, nah, that's too good to be true out here. A lot of fitness yoga gurus out here, like, being for the soul being cause. It's like when it comes to certain people that do have a lot of following, they be like fitness people. It's like, I gotta see them in person to see if they have they really sold out or not. You know what I'm saying? Because some people you see on social media, you can, like, literally see if they sold out, like, right in front of your face. Like, you don't even have to go talk to them yourself to find out. But then, like, some people, it's a little bit harder to tell, and you actually have to, like, speak to them to find out if they sold out or not. You feel me? I be noticing a lot about these fitness and yoga and etc. social media famous people.
And speaking on, like, if we were to transplant to Africa or those countries you named, or the Caribbean islands, those places haven't been attacked as much as us. They don't have the fast food. They don't have the chemical warfare. They've just been attacked through just poor infrastructure and lack of money, but they haven't been mentally attacked like us. They haven't been indoctrinated through school and social media and all that. A lot of them are just now getting phones and shit and access to, like, internet and posting on social media within, like, the last, 5 to 10 years. We have been under heavy attack. So that lets you know we are the most powerful. We are the, like, there's something special about us in particular that they have to go so hard on us in particular. And I'm there with you. I have no one I could communicate with either. So, but, at this point, I don't care. As long as I level up and I'm able to help people who reach out to me, who ask questions and come to me, I don't go to nobody. I allow the people who are seeking help and seeking the knowledge, and I do the best I can to guide them. I used to try to force it on people. I used to try to force consciousness. You can't force consciousness. You got to allow it to flow to you. Well, like, from the other person. They got to flow to you. You can't, like, force it on them. There we go. I agree with you, man. They either sold out, or the other option is, which a lot of them take, the route they take is just play it safe. Don't rattle the bee's nest. Don't push the basically just stay neutral, man. Just don't push the envelope on these events. Don't even really mention it. Just stick to whatever they're doing, and don't even choose a side. Like, they don't they're just in the middle of the fence. They're not on one side or the other. So I think a lot of them just do that. Stay neutral, stay out of the mess, and just get their money. And then, like you said, then there's the other ones who are just obviously completely sold out, only care about the money, not here to help consciousness, not here to help the planet, not here to get rid of the poisons and these demons. So yeah, I agree with you.
And like when it comes to like the countries that deal with so much like, mental indoctrination, bro. Like when you think of like the Middle East countries that have like the states of Dubai, like let's say you take a country like United Arab, for example, bro. Like I found out through personal experience that, a lot of the women, a lot of the melanated women out in United Arab, that's like in their 20s and all that shit, man, bro, like it's like they're so indoctrinated by slave owner media, and it's like, damn, bro. It's like, damn, that shit terrible, because I thought about speaking on that too, like, in like future videos, man. That shit's crazy, bro. Like just like in United Arab, they're like mentally, damaged, just like out in the other corporate countries. Because like, bro, like a lot of melanated Middle Eastern nationality people out in the Middle East countries like United Arab, they're like far behind in like intuitional spirituality and all that, right? We know the whole indoctrination with the Allah thing, that done like, mentally damaged people over there with that. But like a lot of melanated Middle Eastern people don't realize that they're non-ether beings, because, Middle East is part of melanation too, so because it ain't just like melanated Africans and Caribbeans. Like myself, I'm a melanated Caribbean. But man, this shit though, man, man, it's a whole lot of like decodings to like, get like the whole multiverse back to like intuitional consciousness, intelligence, and all that.
So I'm there with you. Hey man, I guess we signed up for this, man. We reincarnated at this time. We're conscious at this time, surrounded by bots. So obviously we have some type of spiritual importance. I don't know who you are. I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck I am, but obviously we have some spiritual importance. Most likely we were something back in the day for us to be where we're at now. We fought through all the poisons. We fought through all the media. We fought through this shit. We've been receiving the informations, and we've been processing the informations, and we've been putting in the work. So I want to just say, man, good job, man.
I'm proud of all my soul beings. I'm proud of what you're doing, showing the Super Saiyan God evolutions to the people out there in the location you are when you train. Because like, the way you train is like your full communication to get all of the soul beings connected to you. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, less effort to do than like having to explain everything with words all the time. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm glad you're doing that mission right there, because that takes a lot of load off my back. You feel what I'm saying? And like, man, bro, like that's the whole point of soul beings. Like when we try to figure out who we are for ourselves, like we just go invent ourselves every day. Cause I just invent myself every day, becoming a whole new evolved soul being, just like you invent yourself every day too.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm just thinking, as these DNA upgrades come in more and we get more activated in our cells, and our cells become more communicate to us more, and it's just more potent, and then our dreams just become more we just start to access more, and we start accessing more into the deep pockets of our old lives, multiple old lives. It's just all gonna come into fruition, man. And yes, man, we're here to bring balance and order. Has nothing to do with money. This is energy, frequency, consciousness, nature, fruits, vegetable, air, fire, wind, Captain Planet type shit, bro. Captain Planet. Yeah, bro.
One thing I learned when using technology, I learned that when it comes to like having cosmic conversations with soul beings about any particular topic it is, I learned how to like do screen recording with voice notes that me and cosmic beings share, and that way I can just like share the message between me and the cosmic soul beings, and other soul beings could just connect to that. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that I figure out on how to do, because like, bro, I'm like the first person to have like to screen record voice notes with soul beings and just like share the cosmic conversations where it has something to do with exposing the matrix, or talk about like, what soul beings can do to like have our evolutions. You feel me? And let me tell you this too, like, every time I get done working out, it actually be my brain food to actually be more fluid with my cosmic topics that I might talk about on any topic that it is, and like also like I notice like when I do shadow boxing in the day, it's like it tests my endurance on like how I can just like, fight the altitude and just like have my evolutions, right? But when I shadow box at night, I feel very swift and fast, and I just be flowing faster than bro. I be flowing faster than the speed of light for real. And I'll say this again, like when I shadow box in the daytime, whether it's sunny or not sunny, it's like shadow box in the daytime is like testing your power endurance, because it's so much altitude in the daytime than it is at night. But when it's nighttime, man, I be feeling swift like a ninja for real. Like my footwork is like, like a ninja, man. Like shit, it's like shadow box at night is like the best for me. You feel me? And it'd probably be the best for anybody. Cause like at night, it's like your senses are sharpened and you feel much faster than you would in the daytime.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that night and day have to have different energies. So, I mean, it sounds valid. I don't really get to work out at night as much. Right now, I'm in Orlando, on a down, in a very popular strip, right off a very popular street. So I'm able to, work out at night here. But as soon as I go back to rural Alabama, we don't have this type of setup. So yeah, like you're saying, most of my shit is during the day, humid, hot as fuck, and like you're saying, it does push you. So yeah, I do want to test that and do some more night training. So that's a good idea, man. For me to implement into what I do on a daily as my routine.